As we've become a more urbanised nation, our engagement with and our appreciation of the bush, I believe, has diminished. Over 86% of us now live in big capital cities. Most of Australia's job and economic opportunities have gravitated to the suburbs and inner cities, in contrast to decades past. This has not only depleted the bush of its young people, but set many small towns on a slow path to decline. It has also led to losing sight of what the bush represents and the central role it plays in Australia's future. It has, I think, led to many Australians in urban areas losing sight of where much of the nation's prosperity comes from, where the food and energy comes from, and we need to change this. Fortunately, we're now seeing a reset in favour of the regions. People are continuing to flock to the bush, drawn to its amenity, its livability, its comparatively affordable housing, and in Western Australia by good jobs with big salaries and bright futures. Go west, young man used to be the catch cry of 1800s America as settlers struck out in search of their future. But today, I would say we can continue to say go west, but also go north. Our northwest, and indeed all of our north, holds enormous opportunity. Catch a flight to Perth from Brisbane or Adelaide most days and you'll likely be seated alongside workers in high vis on their way through a swing on a resources site in northern Western Australia. A new generation of Australians bound for regional WA to seek their fortune and to build themselves and their families a better life. In my view, and as was reported earlier today, every East Coast-based parliamentarian, even journalists, should experience Perth Airport on any given Monday or Tuesday at around 5 a.m. Here you will witness that extraordinary airlift of workers to the north that occurs week in, week out to ensure our nation's continued prosperity off the back of our remarkable geology and the efforts of resources industry. And I might add, that airlift continued week in, week out, right through the COVID pandemic to keep this country moving. And that's a really important contribution Western Australia made to the whole national economy during those very testing times. Growing a stronger, more successful nation doesn't begin and end at our cities. It also means supporting our regions and regional towns to be strong, vibrant and economically diversified. As Minister for Resources and Northern Australia, I'm committing to unlocking the bush's full potential and furthering the multi-generational effort of developing the regions to our north, many of which suffer from the twin tyrannies of distance and disadvantage. Australians in rural and remote areas have a right to the same basic services on offer as those of us that live in the cities. Investing in Northern Australia's economy will boost migration to these areas. It will enable the provision of services and economic opportunities for country people that some in the city take for granted. It will help accelerate development of the North's abundant mineral and energy resources, which will be key to the global goal of reaching net zero emissions. The refreshed Developing Northern Australian White Paper will deliver a prioritised action plan to refocus delivery and re-inject urgency in the economic and social development of Northern Australia. More intense weather events, for example, require greater investment in disaster resilience and in risk reduction. The recent flooding and destruction of transport infrastructure in the Kimberley brought this into very sharp focus for us all.